Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Mike the Truck Nut YouTube channel. So, I think we've got everything buttoned up in the frame where the engine's going to go. The air-to-air is washed out. I had it capped off. Let the water, if there is any left, which, I mean, there could be a little bit of moisture, drain out. But I want to hit it with some paint because she's a little ugly. She's a little rough. But, you know what? Recycle, reuse, repurpose. And it looks like it could precipitate. So with that being said, I'm going to set up my table for paint, but oh yeah, found the oil. But I think it's looking pretty good. The other thing I want to do is hit some black paint on the radiator and hit some black paint on the doghouse, because the green paint it's ugly. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like I've said before, this is not a make it perfect truck. I mean, we could, but first we want to get her running and driving, and you know, if we want to make it perfect, I have a feeling I'm going to want to buy all new parts, and that's kind of a little bit crazy at this juncture. And I left my container open. Totally didn't realize it. Are the lights still on or are they off? They'll be off because they always go off. Yep, they're off. Oh, that's easy. Now I don't have to open the container. I also have a flat tire on the tractor, but I got a tube to fix that. I got so much to do before winter. And I'm going away for 3 weeks. It's going to make things a challenge, but that's okay. What's life without a challenge? Okay, there is some, well, that's just gonna, some corrosion. I'm just gonna wire brush it a little bit. I'm gonna clean it off with some brake clean. Make sure there's no oils on it, and there is some dirt. Came out of the fins. This is actually mass airflow sensor cleaner. Apparently, the good degreaser brake clean is not environmentally friendly, so you can't get it, or we can't get it right now anyways. The problem is the stuff doesn't seem to last very long. I'm going with the fins so I don't fold them over. Okay, I'm gonna get another can of this. Just give it a little spritz. Okay, so while that dries, the brake clean, I'm gonna jack the cab up so we can spray the top of the radiator tank. Being that I'm not gonna get the radiator re-cored right now, it'll just protect the rust or seal it in or stop it, or we'll be changing the radiator in a while, getting it re-cored. But This is a budget build. And with a budget build, don't spend the money if you don't have to. I mean, the radiator that's in it might last for eons. And when I say eons, as long as I have the truck for what I'm doing with it. There we go. Now I'm going the right way. Trying to speed up the drying process. And I know that's flammable stuff, but there's water in there. Good enough, I say. Sweat in my glasses. There. Ooh. Well, there's a rattle can rebuild. So I think that looks good enough for what it is. I put a second coat on the air to air, flipped it over. Gave her a little bit of a spritzing. Oh. Well, that stuff sure tacks up fast. Other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the shroud white, because they're supposed to be white. That's how they come from Kenworth, and this one's got some red paint on it, so I'm going to rebuild it too. Started during the week, guys, is the engine wiring harness that's all covered in oil and dirt and just general schmarm. I was using some brake cleaner, which is actually mass flow air cleaner, because apparently it's the same thing, but anyways, long story. Can't get the good stuff at work, so the other stuff, it's not as powerful. Anyways, so problem with it is it evaporates and it's a little more pricey. So in here, I've got some good old-fashioned purple degreaser, and I was just going to clean up the wires and then rinse them and then put new loom on it. And I actually have some fiber tape that they use on the new trucks, and I might do that as well. Well, that goes up there too. Okay. I might wrap them with the fiber tape and then loom them, because that will protect them. And this is the one that's got a couple of rub spots that I need to fix. But that just pokes out of the loom. So I'm gonna do this while the paint dries, and it's probably about as fun as
watching paint dry.
Yeah. But look at how much nicer it's looking. I also decided I'm going to use the old clutch again. A lot of you are going to say, Mike, you shouldn't put the old clutch back in. You should change it while it's easy. There's probably an argument for that. But the one thing I have is time, or more, well, I don't have a lot of time, but I have time more so than I have money. And if this clutch has another 100,000 miles in it, 200,000 miles, I'll probably never wear it out. If this truck was going to work, yeah, I'd change the clutch, totally. But we got money to spend on some other things, like paint. And a trip to the most epic place on earth. I haven't even told these guys where we're going yet. Or maybe I did. Maybe I did in a video. You know what? I might as well tell you. We're going to Australia. I know. But you know what? We're taking the slow boat to Australia. We're doing a Disney cruise from Hawaii to Australia. And so we're going to fly to Hawaii, jump on a cruise ship, and cruise for 2 weeks to Sydney, Australia. And what are we going to do in Sydney? Well, we're going to go touring. We're only there for basically a week, so it's not really enough time to really see a lot. Andrea's sister's in Australia, so she's going to come meet us, and we're going to do touristy stuff for a few days in Sydney, and then we're going to Melbourne. And the cool thing with going to Melbourne, I'm gonna try and make it a video. You know what's built in Melbourne? K220s. That's right. There's a factory there. And some little Mike the Truck Nut guy, aka me, may have called the factory and said, hey, you think I could tour the factory? And they said, hey, we would love to have you at the factory. So that's right. This little old Canadian with a love for Cabover, specifically the K100 and the Peterbilt 362, is going to tour the Kenworth factory, the Australian Kenworth factory. So I think that's super neat. Super neat and super cool. So yeah, going to cruise to Sydney, fly down to Melbourne, tour the factory, take a drive down the
Great Ocean Road.
The Great Ocean Road to see some of the ocean. And that's what we're gonna do. So that'll be exciting. So there might be a few weeks without videos, but it'll be worth it because, you know, well, it'll be worth it for me anyways.
Me too.
This harness is a little janky. No.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting! Is this the one that's been... This is actually a smarter way of doing it than I was doing it before, because the... Where's my brushy brush? The... yeah, brake clean stuff is more expensive. I'll probably rinse it with that, because I don't want to rinse it with water. But we can clean it. Clean it! We're gonna clean it. Sorry about that. Sorry, excuse me. That's the one problem with Detroit's is they make such a mess when they leak oil. Yeah, see, there's still a bunch of goobers in there. I say goobers, I mean oil. So anyways, I'm gonna do this, and it's probably better than watching paint dry. Okay, so I took it outside and rinsed it off with water. The garden hose, since it's degreaser. That one is dead. Now I'm going to rinse it with Brake Clean. I don't want it to rust or corrode. There. Now I'll let that dry. So while my harness dries, I brake cleaned it and rinsed it with water. Maybe I should give it a little blow with the air. But I'm going to take things like this off for the breather, this off for the water. I got to take this bracket off and this bracket off. You can see where it's bent from my foolishness, but I think it'll still work. It'll just, my prop rod from the radiator is going to have to be a little bit longer. So I washed up all these, and there's the vent, the blow-by tube. It's got to go behind the axle, because the axle is going to go there, and then the rear sump. So yeah, that's why it's back there. So I'm going to dress this engine while it's sitting in here, and then it should make hooking everything up on the other side easier. Some things like these fittings are backwards from how they are on here. This one doesn't have any taps, so I think I might just turn these other ones up or something like that, so that you have taps to turn the water off if you have a leak, or if it's just hotter than a Dickens out, and you don't want heat going through your heater core. Yeah, I pulled the air conditioner mount off, which is here, and it's also it works with this for the alternator. Now I got to take this off, but I'm not very confident that that's going to come off without some issue. I know, that's the wrong way to do it. I need a pipe would be nice. Okay, so that part turned. Will the pipe inside turn? separate? I'm going to hope so. But I don't think so. Oh, how am I going to get that to turn? I think it turned a bit. Oh, that was a fail. Ooh. Ouch, ouch. Well, I kind of boogered it, but at least now I know what I need to go get. I need one of those. And this I can clean up and put in the new water pump. Okay. Whew. It's got me sweating. Screw that. Right in there. All right. Now let's put this little clamp bar on. Right in there. Stick out like this. There. Now when that's, maybe that should be on the other side. Like that. Oh, I should have a, I was gonna say I should have a hose cutter somewhere. Maybe I'll check. Knew I'd find it. No, I didn't. The one that was on there is green and it's kind of janky. This is actually a PEX cutter, so I don't know if it's gonna work the same. But it kind of does. Look at that. That's what I'm gonna work on there. Just trim the end. Hey?
How come it's blue hose?
Because I'm running silicone antifreeze hoses and they're blue. Now this is just a blow-by.
Red would be better.
Well, you can't get red. I know.
Somebody's missing out on a business opportunity there.
There. Doesn't have to be done up really tight, it just has to be done up.
Noted.
Well, Now this bracket down here, I think it goes something like that. So you just want it to be kind of square. Or does that go up in front?
And then how does it hold? How do you attach that to that?
The hose clamp.
Oh, I see.
Well, it's a little bit tricky because the blow-by breather tube has to snake around there, and then I also got to get this water line on. So I'm putting the water line on first before I do finish the other, because you don't, well, I don't want any of it hitting each other. Oops. I put gloves on specifically not to get that dirty, dang it. So 5. There. That was tight. Okay, I managed to put a bolt in there, a longer one, and it is sturdy, which is good. I like that because so often the rubbers get swelled and then it is loose, and then it wears a hole in it, and yeah. So now I'm going to put on this tube, and I had to order some new, well, I ordered new hoses because it's a bit of a special size. And this is the tube. The tube. It goes a little something like that. I think that's good. Well, I pulled the oil filler fitting out of the other block. So the only thing I'm concerned about is look at how close that is. And that's all, like, I don't know that I have any wiggle room, but I guess I'll figure it out. Oh, I should stick that back in there. This is the oil filler. Tube is installed. I moved the breather over. We took these valves off. This is how they're in on the other truck, like that. But I think I'd still like to have taps, so I might not. Yeah, I got to look under the hood of the other truck, or at least take a look at pictures. So I also put this piece on, which is it's the alternator sits up on here on this truck, and your compressor for your air conditioning sits there. But you can see there's a little gap right there. And the other truck didn't have that little gap. So it's not quite exactly the same. And I'll have to pull this off when I do that, but I'll strap it down to something somewhere. Thinking about running different hoses. I like the fittings on this versus the ones that came on the truck. So this is obviously pressure. This is return, like bypass. So yeah, we'll see. I like the idea of this. And this is just a suction line, so it doesn't have to be a screwed on fitting line. The other thing is, looking at the harness, oh, I put this on as well. So this is the one that came off Smoky. You can see it's got the intake pipe back a little bit, and that one's right at the front. I'm waiting to put the compressor on until I get the harness done. Of course, I got the ECM that came with this engine, but I was thinking what maybe I should do is run the harness that came off the other engine. I mean, I'm gonna put this harness together, but if we look, this harness isn't nearly as oily. This is actually the plug that is rubbed on the other harness. So I'll pull this harness off and check it out. This is like a fuel pressure sensor or something. I don't know if it's probably fuel pressure, isn't it? Or is it, I don't know what that is. It's a sensor that goes to your fuel, but clearly, well, yeah, I guess it goes through there, and then it goes out there, and then it goes up into the head. So yeah, I guess that's probably fuel pressure, fuel restriction. Yeah, it could have a fuel restriction gauge. It does have a fuel restriction gauge, actually. I'm almost positive. Learn to do by doing, he says. But at least that looks good. Eh? Glad I didn't just slap that engine in, because this is just a lot neater. And then if there is an oil leak, we'll see it right away. And hopefully it's not the front structure. I mean, the front structure does leak on these things because they just basically silicone them together. But the other thing is my turbo inlet's a little different. So I should measure that and see if I can get an adapter to fit the truck. And I was also wondering if I should try and get a new block heater thing. What are the odds on me needing a block heater? I don't know. Don't really want to buy one, but meh, leave it for now. That's in a good spot. I can always get to it because the frame's going to be right there, because that's probably there. Anyways, it's coming together. What do you think? Should I use just the regular oil, like the oil filter, the oil filler that came with this thing, the engine that is, or should I put the long one back on? I moved that, so I should be able to stick that like that, but that's pretty long. I definitely don't want to put it in the truck with that on it. Or do I just put this one on? Like that. You know, that'd be pretty easy. But let me know in the comments what you think I should do. So anyways, guys, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the like button. And we will see you in the next one. And this is the damage I did when I dropped it, because that is supposed to be straight. This part. Now, that being said, I don't think it's too big of a deal, because I need to rebuild this, and it goes like that. So I might just have to heat that up and bend the lip up. So anyways, if you're not making mistakes, you're not doing anything, right, guys? And on that note, we'll see you later.